Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to go over getting to know your tablet. So we've been using tablets and we're trying to see the difference between using a pen which has 2,000 sensitivities of pressure or a mouse which has 1. So when a student says to me that they draw better with a mouse, it's really not true. We've been drawing with pencils and writing with pencils and pens since we were 2 years old. So it is awkward at first, but it gets less awkward as the days go on and you keep using it. So let me just go over some basics about this. You want to be hovering over the tablet to be moving the cursor around, and once you push down, that's when you'll make a mark. So if I started myself with a nice round brush here in general, hard round brush, I would get a mark like this. Now this has 1 pressure of sensitivity. You can see the mark is not changing as I paint across. Pushing lightly, nothing will happen, and pushing harder, nothing happens to update that line. So let me have that up here. However, there are 2 main things that a pen can do: pressure sensitivity for opacity and pressure sensitivity for size. So there are some quick buttons up in Photoshop that can access this really quickly. And one of them is right here. So this would be the, I can't get it to hover up. Always use pressure for size. So when I activate this, the next time I push lightly and then push harder, you can see that the brush will get bigger until it reaches the size of the brush I have selected. So this is at 100, so it's going to go really small, and then as I push the hardest this tablet can go, or this pen can go, it will get to 100. If I brought this up with my bracket keys next to P and I pushed it again, now it's going up to all the way to 300 because that's the brush I selected. That's the size. So I'm going to bring this back down to 100. The bracket keys next to P is a great quick command for that. Next, I'm going to turn that off, and there's this one, and this one says use pen pressure for opacity. So if I activate this button, take a look, you can see as I push lightly, the mark is lighter. As I push harder, it gets darker. But notice that it is not affecting size. This is just the opacity button. I could have both on at the same time, so now I have opacity and size pressure, and this will happen. And you can see the difference. Now, a lot of people like to paint with both of these on, and of course you want to maximize the capabilities of this pen with opacity and size. Now, sometimes you have a brush that has this stuff accessed already, and you want to turn it off. So I'm going to find maybe a brush here. One brush that we really like to use while we paint is going to be this one here. And I will give you a link to download these brushes of mine. And this is a brush that kind of looks and feels like a paintbrush. Now this one has lightness, and if I push harder, it also has a little bit of size. Notice not 100% of size. It doesn't get too small when I... So where is this stuff? Well, that's in the settings. And we've been looking at the brush settings before, but now we can take another whole look at this because we have a pen. So first of all, when you look at this mark, you can see, yes, it does disappear. So it has opacity setting selected. So even if I turn these off, well, actually, it does kind of overrides the size here. But notice, if I turn off the transfer is basically this button right here. This transfer is the opacity, and you can see now it doesn't get lighter. So if you ever want to override a brush, it's the transfer that's controlling the opacity. Okay, so I'll keep that on. Now the shape dynamics. This is the one that's controlling the size, and you can see when I turn this off, if I turn off shape dynamics, well, if I turn it off here, you can see now it keeps its size. So the shape dynamics is what makes that happen. get used to using a brush or two, try the general brushes, and good luck, and give it a try.